Hello friends, I am Lakshmi Kant. Hope you all are fine, my dear. Dear, in this topic here, that is what biological classification mind map, my dear. In this very mind map, what we should have to be know here. You know what? Here in this very mind map, we just you have to be clear here that what the thing is to be studied in this very chapter. But how we have to be study, this one is only focusing here in the mind map, but what are the things in details, but these all details you can be go through in my regular classes, my dear. Okay, so let's see that how we summarize that all the things whenever we learn this one thing, whenever we read this one thing. And one thing I hear I'd like to clear, my dear, this mind map is only helpful for those students who have already studied this one chapter. Okay, so whatever the mind map I'm giving to you, that mind map is only helpful for those only students who have once completed their topic. Am I right? So once you have to completed your topic, then you go through the mind map, and this very mind map just give you a what short information or quick information, or you say the quick revision of this very chapter. Clear? So if you want to quick revision, just come with me and make a quick revision on this very chapter, that how we go thoroughly what the chapter is here, what the topic is here, what the concept is here. We go through this one in a very short details, my dear. Correct? Yes, what I'm saying is in short details. So see here that what the mind map telling us here. So dear, if we have to make a mind map, we have to first focus here that which one topic we have to be giving here for a mind map. You know which one topic is there? Yes, that is a biological classification, and this chapter is second chapter of class 11th of first unit, my dear. Am I right? Yes. So see, if I'm saying here that what the biological classification, so here the many branches, see here the many branches of this very classification, my dear. Correct? So see how this branches is helpful you to know the all very distinct part, to know all the basic things that whatever given here, my dear. So let me check one by one and to recall all that very things, and I will show you that the things that is given in your NCRT also in a short clip, so that you can recall your things, that whatever the thing is given in your NCRT, right? Is that clear that what I'm saying? So see, my dear, here what we I'm going to start, right? So here we am focusing what the biological classification, then after the what sub branches and branches. Let's see here that what we have to be know here in details, my dear. Here in biological classification, see, first of all, we know about the classification. We already know that the classification is nothing, just it is only what grouping of organisms. Listen what I'm saying. Classification means what? Grouping of organisms in a what systematic manner. See here I'm saying word systematic. You know the meaning of systematic, my dear? Yes, systematic word derived from Latin word systema, which means what? Which means that we are grouping of organisms, and that very grouping of organisms we all are study in a sequence manner, my dear. So that's why I'm saying to grouping of organisms. So whenever we grouping of organisms on the basis of their habitat, on the basis of nutrition, on the basis of reproduction, there are so many various factors in which we group the organisms so that we can easily understand that very organisms, my dear, right? So that's why here I'm going to tell you about the classification in very short details, because this one is the mind map, right? Now see here, if I'm going to here classify the organisms, the first the scientist, you hope so know the name, that is Aristotle gave the word classification, right? After that the scientist Carlos Linnaeus, my dear, that Carlos Linnaeus gave two kingdom classification. Yes, you are correct. Two kingdom classification, that is what? Yes, tell me the two kingdom classification. There was what? First plant kingdom, and second one is what? Animal kingdom, my dear. So here the thing is here written also kingdom plantae number one and kingdom animalia. Here the two kingdom, correct? But this two kingdom of classification was not absolutely correct. So further the three kingdom classification that is given by the scientist Ernest Haeckel, and then after the four kingdom classification that is given by Copeland, and then after the fifth kingdom classification, yes my dear, see here the classification which was given by the Carlos Linnaeus five kingdom classification, my dear. Correct? Yes or no? So this thing, first of all, I just to recall you that things that what you have studied in your NCRT, and then after we have to become on that very point to know each and everything in a short details. Yes, take a pen and copy and make it write down that what I'm saying to you in a short details. Okay, because this one is mind map. This one is not a overall lectures. Clear? So that's why I'm saying here that what you just you go through these all things that whenever you going first examination. Yes or no? So before examination, this one is very helpful to you. Let's see how. I'm going to next slide so that I'm just going to tell you here that the things that is given in your NCRT, my dear. See, here I'm going to tell you about the scientist. You might be hear the name what you know. Yes, that is Aristotle. Yes, what I'm saying. Aristotle. Aristotle gave what? Two kingdom classification, my dear. See what I'm saying. Two kingdom classification. That is what? Plant kingdom and animal kingdom. One is what? Plant kingdom. See here that what I'm writing here, and the things is also given your NCRT also. Plant kingdom and what? Second one is what? Animal kingdom. Am I right? Yes, my dear. Plant kingdom and second one is what? Animal kingdom. But this two kingdom of classification was not sufficient because here are the some drawbacks. Yes, I'm what I'm saying here, the some drawbacks, my dear. So what the drawbacks is here? Here the drawbacks is here that the system do not distinguish between the eukaryotic and prokaryotic. This is the first drawbacks. Second drawbacks, this kingdom of classification not grouped for unicellular and multicellular organisms. So that's why he put it on both unicellular and multicellular organisms. And further, the photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic also put it in a same kingdom. So here that's why this is the basic major drawback. So that's this two kingdom of classification was not to be much enough to be studied here, my dear. So that's why we make three kingdom classification, and that very three kingdom classification was given by the scientist. Yes, you are correct, my dear. That is what Ernest Haeckel. Am I right? So see that the what the things here is given into two kingdom classification. Here the see according to Carlos Linnaeus, I was told here, according to the Carlos Linnaeus, give two kingdom classification, two system of classification, that is what Plantae and Animalia developed, that include all the plants and animals respectively, right? But this system do not distinguish between the eukaryote and prokaryote, do not distinguish between unicellular and multicellular organisms, they do not distinguish between photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic, that is green algae, and what I'm saying fungi organisms. So that's why this classification plant and animalia was easily done, was not easy to understand, not easy to understand. See here that what the NCRT's line is saying here, but a large number of organisms did not fall into the entire either this category, because whenever we have to study about the bacteria, so where we have to put this one is the thing na. So this one is not sufficient for the classification, hence this two kingdom classification used for a long time was found inadequate. What I'm saying here, inadequate, because this one is not so sufficient. So that's why I'm saying what inadequate, right? So beside these all things, the gross morphology, nature of wall, mode of nutrition, habitat, methods of reproduction, evolutionary relationship, in this way we have to be classified na. So that's why here I'm saying the classification system for the living organisms have hence undergo several changes. Yes, what I'm saying, see, several changes over the time. So as the time passes, there are so many several changes in a classification. So in that very classification, we have to be put here that the things that what is to be. If it is not possible, then this classification is not sufficient. That is what inadequate you say. So though the plants and animal kingdoms have a constant under all the different system, you know why? Because the understanding understanding of what groups or organisms may include after this kingdom have been changing. So the numbers of nature of other kingdom have also been understood by different scientists over the time. So that's why I'm saying here, as the time passes, so the number of the organisms goes changes, and if the number of changes, then what we have to be know here, that so the diversity is also changes. So if once the diversity is goes changes, then it's not easy to put that all very diversity organisms into the two criteria, that is what, two kingdoms, that is plant kingdom and animal kingdom, my dear. So that's why I'm saying here, let's see, this two kingdom classification was not be correct, not a very sequence manner. So that's why then after the three kingdom classification, then after the fourth, and then finally what, five kingdom classification, my dear. So see here, the five kingdom classification, you know that the five kingdom classification, see what I'm writing here, five kingdom classification was given by, you know, the scientist, which one, the scientist who gave the five kingdom classification? Yes, my dear, that is what, R.H. Whittaker. See what I'm saying here, R.H. Whittaker in year 1969. See in this one mind map here, the what the basic criteria is be here. So that's I'm put it here, the NCRT, the things that is given, what, NCRT, fully NCRT. So this one is the table that is given here in mind map. Okay, this one is the mind map that is given here. Okay, so that's why I put it here, so that you can easily visualize these things, that what the thing is given there in mind map, right? Now see, if I'm saying here that the five kingdom classification, which was given by the scientist R.S. Whittaker in 1969, and this R.S. Whittaker whenever give the five kingdom classification, then what are the five kingdom classification? This is the first thing you must have to be know here. You know what, which one thing that is first, that is kingdom Monera. See what I'm saying here, I'm saying here the first kingdom, that is what, kingdom Monera. Then afterward, kingdom Protista. See what I'm writing here, kingdom Protista I'm writing, right? Kingdom Protista. Now third one is what, kingdom Monera Protista. Then after, kingdom Fungi. See what I'm writing here, kingdom Fungi, my dear, right? And fourth one is what, kingdom Plantae. See what I'm writing here, kingdom Plantae I am writing. Okay, and then after the finally I am writing what, kingdom Animalia. See what I'm writing here, kingdom Animalia. See what I'm writing here, kingdom Animalia. So there are five kingdom classification. Further, my dear, this five kingdom classification further divided into another kingdom, that is six kingdom classification, and this six kingdom classification was given by the scientist Carl Woese. So that's why I'm writing here also. So that's why I'm writing here also that what the six kingdom classification, my dear. So see here, the six kingdom classification, the six kingdom classification was also given, and you know the scientist, you know the name of scientist who gave the six kingdom classification? Yes, that is what, Carl Woese. What I'm saying, Carl Woese is the scientist who gave the what, six kingdom classification. And you know, this one is very interesting to know that what the six kingdom classification said. Yes, that is, my dear, bacteria further be divided into two parts, because in kingdom Monera, the sole organisms, what I'm writing here, the sole organisms, that is what, bacteria. So see what I'm saying here. Here in the kingdom Monera, here we study only the what, kingdom Monera, that is bacteria. Here we studied only the bacteria, my dear. And you know that this bacteria further be divided into two parts, that is archaebacteria and eubacteria, my dear. Listen carefully what I'm saying. Archaebacteria and eubacteria. So see, if I'm going move ahead in the ahead again, this one is the kingdom is here, five kingdom classification. So see, my dear, here the kingdom Monera here na, see this one is what, kingdom Monera. So if I'm saying here that this one is the word, the kingdom Monera, what I'm saying here, kingdom Monera. So kingdom Monera is the word, the sole member here, sole member, that is what, my dear, bacteria. And while when I'm going to say here that the bacteria further divided into two parts, that is what, my dear, that is archaebacteria, and second one is what, eubacteria, my dear. What I'm saying here, eubacteria. So see what I'm saying here. I'm saying here that the bacteria further be classified into two parts, that is archaea and eubacteria, and this one classification is came under the sixth kingdom classification, and this very sixth kingdom classification was given by the scientist. The name of the scientist is Carl Oz. Hope so you are getting. Now see here the classification according to the classification of RH Whittaker in 1969. There are some characteristics that is given in your mind map also. See here, this one is the mind map. Here are some characters. So what are the characters here? See, number one, that is what cell type. Number two, cell wall. Number third, nuclear membrane. Number four, body organization. Number five, mode of nutrition. So this one thing. So this one thing here, the characters that is given in your mind map also. So this one is the thing that you have to be remembered, that what you have to be remembered. Yes sir, according to the five kingdom classification, there are basically the five characters which was given by the RH Whittaker, that is cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane, mode of formation and mode of nutrition, my dear. Am I right? Yes. So let's see one by one in a short way, because this one is the mind map. There is no need to be go through in a details, because here I'm just going to summarize all the things, that whatever the thing is given in your NCERT, right? And here the clip that also have to be make sure here that the things whatever given in a mind map, this the thing is given for here also, that is taking a clip from that very things from NCERT and put it in a mind map. So what the things is given there in a mind map, I'm just giving you a some short brief details, my dear. Okay, so let's see one by one. Enough cell type, that is what kingdom Mondra, my dear. So kingdom Mondra first. Listen first all these very five characters here whenever I'm telling about the cell type of kingdom Mondra, that is what prokaryotic. And hope so you know that prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Yes, definitely you know. Pro means primitive, karyon means what? Nucleus. So if I'm saying here the organisms which has what? Primitive nucleus, it means that the organisms which have not well defined membrane bonded organelles, right? So this one is known as what? Prokaryotic. But even if I'm saying here that eukaryotic organisms, eu means what? True, and karyon means what? Nucleus. So that's I'm telling here eukaryotic means that the organisms which has well defined membrane bonded organelles, my dear. Correct? So see, if I'm saying here about the kingdom Mondra, so Mondra is which one type? The cell type is what? Prokaryotic, right? This one is the thing, the first thing that you must have to be keep in mind. Second thing, that is what about the cell wall, that is what? Non-cellulosic polysaccharide along with what? Amino acid. See what I'm saying here. If I'm saying here that the kingdom Mondra, what the cell wall is made up of. So here the cell wall is made up of here what? Non-cellulosic. It means what? They doesn't bear a what? Cellulose. So if they doesn't bear any cellulose, then what the things is be included there? The thing is included there, my dear, that is polysaccharides along with what? Amino acid. Correct? Is the nuclear membrane is present here? No, my dear. Nuclear membrane is what? Absent. This one is the thing. What the body organization is there? The body organization is what? Cellular organization, my dear. See what I'm saying. If I'm going to level of organization of any organisms, then it is be divided into how many ways? There are so many sequences that they have to be derived. Number one, that is what? Basic level of organization, known as what? Cellular level of organization. And after that, the cellular level of organization, that is what? Tissue. Then after the tissue, then afterwards cell, then after tissue, then after organ, then after organ system, then organism, then individual, then population, then after population group together, then it form what? Yes, community, my dear. Then after community group together, then it form ecosystem, and after that this ecosystem further be divided into biosphere, my dear. Okay, so this one is the thing that we have to be must be keep in mind. Okay, so if any organisms, whenever I'm going to classify, so how the level of organization is be there, so only and only the kingdom Mondra, that is bacteria, belongs to which one body of organization? That is cellular level of organization, right? Now see what the mode of nutrition is in bacteria, that is autotrophic. Autotrophic, you know that the organisms which can make their own food. It means that what? They derive the food or make the food from sunlight, carbon dioxide, water and minerals. So if I'm saying here that the plants which can make their own food, so that's why I'm saying here that this plant is what? Autotrophic. In the same way, the bacteria also is what? Autotrophic. So in autotrophic, they also have what? Chemosynthetic and photosynthetic, my dear, as well as what? Heterotrophic also. If I'm saying here the heterotrophic, then they also having what? Saprophytic and parasitic. Correct? See, if I'm saying here about the mode of nutrition, you know that is two, autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic further be divided into two parts, that is photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic. And now see, if I'm saying about the heterotroph further be classified into three parts, that is saprophytic, parasitic and holozoic. So if I'm saying here the saprophytic, it means what, the organisms which were dead and decomposed organic matter known as what, saprophytic. But whenever I'm saying about the parasitic, it means what, the organisms which derive the nutrients from another living organisms is known as what, parasitic. And parasitic of two types, one is ectoparasite and second one is what, endoparasite. So if I'm saying the ectoparasite, it means that what, the organisms derive the nutrition from the host body cell, from the outer surface of the body. See what I'm saying? So if any organisms derive the nutrition from the outer body surface, known as what, ectoparasite. Ecto means what, outer. So whenever I'm saying the endoparasite, it means what, the organisms which derive nutrition from inner host body cell. Suppose take an example, that is tapeworm, eelworm, filarial worm. These all are what, endoparasite, because they derive the nutrition from the inner host body cell. So see, what the thing is be here, that the thing is very important to know here. Okay, so here in a five kingdom classifications, my dear, according to the R.S. Whitaker in 1969, what I'm saying, 1969 year, this one is very important to know. So in the five kingdom classification, the kingdom Mondra, that is what, cell type prokaryotic, cell wall non-cellulosic. Non-cellulosic is made up of what, polysaccharides and amino acid. Nuclear membrane is absent. Body organization is cellular organization. Mode of nutrition is autotrophic. If here I am saying about the autotrophic, it means they have both chemosynthetic and photosynthetic. And whenever I am saying about the heterotrophic, they need to having what, saprophytic as well as parasitic, not holozoic here. Yes, keep in mind, not holozoic here. Here only the word saprophytic and parasitic only. Correct? Now, let's see about what the protista. This one is the second. In protista, the cell type here is what, eukaryotic, my dear. Which one? Cell type eukaryotic. Correct. Cell wall is what, present in some. There's some cell wall is present, but mostly we see what, the cell wall is absent. Now, what about the nuclear membrane? Nuclear membrane is present here. What about the body organization? Cellular organization is here. And what about the mode of nutrition is here? That is autotrophic, my dear. So if I'm saying here the autotrophic means what? Means that photosynthetic and heterotrophic, my dear. Correct what I'm saying? Photosynthetic and what? Heterotrophic. So see, if I'm saying here about the photosynthetic and heterotrophic, it means you know that the organisms which not make their own food, they make with the help of sunlight, right? And heterotrophic, it means what, the organisms which cannot make their own food, they directly or indirectly depend on autotrophs, right? Now, this one the first Mondra, second is protista, third one is what, fungi. Let's see about what the fungi. Here I'm going to tell you about the fungi, that is cell type, that is basically eukaryotic. But here the cell type eukaryotic, my dear. Number first. Then after, when I'm going to tell you about here the cell wall, here the present with chitin. Chitin is the what, the layer that is made up of cell wall, my dear. Is nuclear membrane is present? Yes, definitely nuclear membrane is also present. Is body organization is here? Yes, multicellular body level of organization, but the tissue is what, not tightly packed, they have loose tissue, right? Mode of nutrition is here. Yes, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It means that the organisms which cannot make their own food. So many times I'm repeated here, so you go through this one thing. You can also put a audio, you can also put a earbud and listen here that what I'm saying to you carefully, my dear, and hope you listen these all things very carefully and minutely. And obviously you have to be when come to see this one thing and hear these all things, your examination will goes fantastic and superb, my dear, right? Now see, mode of nutrition, that is what, in a kingdom fungi, that is heterotrophic. In heterotrophic, they consist what, both saprophytic as well as what, parasitic, my dear, right? Now the things here to be know here, that is what, kingdom plantae, that is the fourth kingdom plantae, cell type eukaryotic. Cell wall, yes, present in plant, that is what, cellulose. Cellulose means what, fiber. Yes. And nuclear membrane is here. Yes, definitely present. Now the body organization, tissue, and some are organ system level of organization. And mode of nutrition is what, only and only here is what, autotrophic, that is photosynthetic, not chemosynthetic, my dear. Now the fifth one is what, kingdom animalia. Whenever I'm going to tell about the kingdom animalia, here the cell type is what, eukaryotic. It means what, they have well defined membrane bonded organelles, my dear. And if I'm telling about the cell wall is absent here. Now the nuclear membrane is present here in a kingdom Animalia. And whenever I'm going to tell you about the body organization, here the body organization is what? Tissue, organ, or you say what? Organ system level of organization. And finally the mode of nutrition is here is what? Heterotrophic, my dear. But in heterotrophic, which one? That is holozoic. It means what? They take complex food materials as well as the what? They are saprophytic. And you know that the saprophytic is what? The organisms which cannot there make their own food. This one is correct. But saprophytic means sapro means dead or rotten. Sapro means phytic means that what? The organisms which derive from dead and decomposed organic matter, my dears. Correct. So this table is wholly clear to all of you. Yes. So if clear, then can we move ahead now? Now see, here after knowing about this five kingdom classification which is given by the R.H. Whittaker in the year 1969. This one is the clear. Now the time to know about the kingdom Mondra, some short details, my dear. I'm not going to through in a more details because whenever I'm go through lectures in part wise, then we have to be go in details. Here only the mind map that what the things is to be given here, that things is only too important here to know. Okay, let's see. Kingdom Mondra, that is sole member here, that is what? Bacteria, my dear. Yes or no? Yes. And you know that the bacteria is what? Prokaryote. Cell type is what? Prokaryotic, just I told. And further this bacteria be divided into two parts, that is archaebacteria and eubacteria. See this one thing I'm just telling here in this very part. Let's see in this very part. See, archaebacteria and eubacteria. Here I am written, Nadia. Here I am written here archaebacteria and eubacteria. So bacteria are the C. NCERT is also written here. Archaebacteria is what? Sole member of the kingdom Mondra. See, I'm not telling here only. The NCERT also telling here also. Okay. So this one is the clip of this very NCERT, that what the things is be given in your mind map. The same thing that is also given in your NCERT, because all the things will be extracted from NCERT, na? So that's why I'm saying to you, they are the most abundant microorganisms. You know the meaning of abundant? Huge amount. Yes, bacteria occur almost everywhere. You know, 100 of bacteria are present in handful of soils. You know, they live in extreme habitat also. Extreme habitat means what? They live in either spring, either deserts, either oceans, or any other life forms they can exist. So many of them live in other organisms. So that's why I'm saying this bacteria is also known what? Parasitic. Correct? Yes. So bacteria grouped under the four categories on the basis of their shape. That is rod shape. That is bacillus. You say here bacilli is plural. Bacillus is what? Singular. And if I'm saying in the spherical, cocci, clear, and spiral, spirillum. This one is the flagella containing a spirilla, and vibrio, that is what? Comma shaped bacteria here. Okay. So this one is the important thing. That is coccus, plural cocci, the rod shaped bacillus, plural bacilli, the comma shaped bacteria vibram, plural vibro, and the spirillum. Spirillum, plural spirilla, my dear. This one is what? Is spiral shape. Okay. Now see what the things is given in archaebacteria. About the archaebacteria, there are some points that is given in NCERT. So archaebacteria, mainly the harsh habitat they found, such as extreme salty area. They present where? The extreme salty area, that is halophils. If they found in hot spring, then it is known as what? Thermoacidophils. If they are present on the marshy area, then it is known as methanogens. So see here, the bacteria live in mostly harsh habitat. What's the harsh habitat? Here the three harsh habitat. One is halophils. So if I'm saying here halophils, it means what? Extreme salty area. If I'm saying hot thermoacidophils, then it means what? Hot spring. If I'm saying here the what? Methanogens, it means what? They found in the marshy area, right? So the archaebacteria differ from other bacteria, you already know, because the different cell wall structure, different features is responsible for the survival in extreme condition. Having, take one example, methanogens. You know that this methanogen which is present in the gut of several ruminant animal. You know the ruminant animal, that animal which eat what? That animal which eat only plants, that's such as cows, buffaloes. They are responsible for production of methane biogas, that is from the dungs of these animals. Now what about the eubacteria? And you know, my dear, this u means what? True. U means what? True. And this one what? True bacteria. Here it means that if I'm saying about the true bacteria, thousands of different U bacteria that are characterized presence of rigid cell wall. Yes, this one is motile. If they have motile, then it is a flagellum. If they do not having any motile, they do not contain flagella, my dear. This one is very important line that what I'm saying here. See, this one is the mind map. Not I'm going to in details, but I'm telling to such a things that is very important to know here, and such important clips I'm just making here, so that's you just correlate with that mind map, my dear. Okay, so once the things you go through the NCRT, go through my detailed lecture, then you have to be know this all in very details, my dear. But here what I'm doing here, I'm doing to only focusing that the what short details that what the things was given in a very fast manner. Okay, so let's see. Here is also referred to as what? Blue green algae, also cyanobacteria. Hope so you know, hope so you hear the name cyanobacteria. Yes, the bacteria which containing what? Chlorophyll, which bearing what? Chlorophyll. Which one chlorophyll they bearing? Chlorophyll A to the green plants and the photosynthetic autotroph, correct? Now the cyanobacteria are unicellular. Which one cyanobacteria? Unicellular, colonial or filamentous. They live where in the freshwater, marine, or some in terrestrial. They live where in a colonies, generally surrounded by gelatinous sheath. See here, the sheath is here is what? Mucilaginous sheath. That is in Nostoc anabena, blue-green algae. But gelatinous sheaths, which is mainly found in cyanobacteria, they are often blooms. You know the blooms, they are extremely large amount of bacteria found in a polluted water bodies. Some of these organisms can fix atmospheric nitrogen, correct? Okay, this atmospheric nitrogen will which fixes by specialized cells. That specialized cell is called heterocyst. See, this one is very important to know here. The organisms which can fix atmospheric nitrogen, this atmospheric nitrogen can be fixed by some specialized cell. That specialized cell is known as heterocyst. See in the diagram, this one is also given in NCRT. Heterocyst example, that is what? Nostoc and anabena. See, Nostoc and anabena are what? Fixing atmospheric nitrogen in a specialized cell, and that very specialized cell is very important to know here. That is heterocyst. An example is also very important to know here. That is Nostoc and anabena, my dear. What about the chemosynthetic? Chemo means chemical, synthetic means what? To make the food. Here chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria here oxidize various inorganic substances. You know the what the various inorganic substances oxidize, such as nitrates, nitrites, and ammonia. These are the what's inorganic substance that they what? Oxidize and use the release energy for their ATP production, correct? They play a great role in recycling nutrient. Yes, this one is very important to know here, my dear. That what the things that very play a great role. Which one play a great role? Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria, that is fixage what? Various inorganic substances, nitrates, nitrite, and ammonia, which is used to release energy. They also look a recycling nutrient like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. Right, correct here. Now the time here to know about the heterotrophic bacteria. Here heterotrophic bacteria are most abundant in nature. So the majority are important are decomposer. They are mostly by decomposer. It is mainly used to decompose the organic materials, as well as they also give us some significant impact on human affairs. They also help in making curd. You might be know the name of that very bacteria. That bacteria is called lactobacillus. Which one bacteria which is responsible for formation of curd from milk? That is lactobacillus bacteria. Some production of antibiotics, fixing nitrogen in leguminous plant, my dear, correct? See, so here the five kingdom classification is clear. Here archaebacteria, eubacteria is clear. So here the halophils, thermoacidophils, methanogens, photosynthetic, chemoautotrophic, heterotrophic, these all thing is clear, my dear. And this one thing is also here to be clear. Now the time to know about the what? Protista, my dear. See here, what about the protista given in NCRT? In a short details I'm going to tell you here, and then after the things whenever I'm go through part wise, then in that very part wise I will give you in details that what the thing is be there. Okay, now see, if I'm saying here about the kingdom protista, it means what? The kingdom protista here means that single cell eukaryotes. See, again I'm saying here, if anybody can ask you about the kingdom protista, then what you say about the kingdom protista, listen carefully. Wait a moment. Yes, All single-thread eukaryotes are placed under the what? Protista, my dear. All, every eukaryotes were single cell placed where in a protista. But the boundaries here of this kingdom are not well defined because they are defined so many vast boundaries that how I'm saying this vast boundaries because what may be a photosynthetic protestant. One biologist may be a say that it is a plant to another, but in the book includes crassophytes, dinoflagellates, iglonoids, slime molds, protozoans under protist. These all are what protista. So member of protista are primarily what aquatic. So whatever the protista is mainly found where in aquatic, that is in where water, my dear. So this kingdom forms a link with the other dealing with the plants, animals and fungi. So see, so this one is the only kingdom which link with the other dealing such as plants, animals and fungi. So see, this one is very important line, my dear. This is very important line of the NCRT. Yes, here from the question may arises which one kingdom link with plant, animal and fungi to kingdom protista, my dear, right? Being eukaryotes, the protestant cell body contains a well-defined nucleus. See what I'm saying? Well-defined nucleus. If I'm saying here the well-defined nucleus, it means what? They have a well membrane bonded organelles also. Membrane bonded organelles. See, this one is thing is written. Some have flagella. Flagella help in the locomotion, my dear. Or you say the cilia. Who might be? See this one diagram. I saw in NCRT that is also given. This one is what? Paramecium. This one is what? Paramecium. See here, this one is what? This one is what? Cilia. This one is what, my dear? Cilia. And this one, cilia, is responsible for what? Locomotion or capturing of the food materials, my dear. Now, the protists reproduce. How the protists reproduce? This protist reproduce, my dear, asexually and sexually. And you know the process of what? Involving by the cell fusion or zygote formation. So here the cell fusion as well as the zygote formation, there are two processes involving in reproduction in protists, my dear. Correct? Now see, this one in the kingdom protista is also to be clear. Slime molds, cyclonoids, dinoflagellates, crassophytes, protozoans. So these all are the protists, my dear, right? So see, after knowing these all things, after we knowing all these things, my dear, now here the time to know about the kingdom fungi, that is multicellular. So before we have to be go through there, just see this one is the word dinoflagellates. This one is what? Dinoflagellates. See, this one is the dinoflagellates. This one is what? Iglonoids. This one is what? In sea slime mold is here. Slime mold is here, my dear. This one diagram given in CRT, and this one is what? Paramecium. This one is what? Paramecium. Correct? So see here, these all things is to be clear. Now the kingdom fungi, basically, my dear, the kingdom fungi having divided into, because the kingdom fungi we all know that that is multicellular decomposer. See what I'm saying? If I'm saying here the kingdom fungi, so kingdom fungi is which one? That is multicellular decomposer. So if I'm saying here the multicellular decomposer here divided into five parts: phycomycetes, ascomycetes, basidomycetes, and fourth one is, my dear, is what? Deuteromycetes. So see, if I'm saying here about the phycomycetes, ascomycetes, and deuteromycetes, my dear, then what is here? See, here the example is here. That is what? Mucor. This one is what? Asparagus. See, this one is what? Asparagus. And this one is what? Agaricus, my dear. This one is what? Agaricus. These all are what? These all are fungi. Yes, see, these all are the fungi. So see, if I am saying here that they all having what? Symbiotic relationship. So is there thing that is very important to know here, that is what is symbiosis? Yes. So here the symbiosis means that the two organisms living together for mutual beneficial. See, again, I'm repeating here. The two organisms which is living together for their mutual beneficial. Suppose if I'm saying that this one is pen and this one is the pencil, this one is the pencil and this one is the marker. Here are two things that is grouped together. Why? Because these two things were dependent on each other's. Yes, so if these two things dependent on each other, they known as what? Mutual The relationship is here, that it means that they are beneficial for one of them to another. Yes or no? So here I'm saying that what that is symbiotic relationship. It means that symbiotic relationship means that the one organisms what yes, depend on another living organisms too. What purpose? Tell me what purpose? The main purpose here to be what? Either to make food, either to the shelter. Just I'm giving you example of what that is phycobiont and microbiont. The microbiont here I'm saying that fungal component. Whenever I'm saying about the fical phycobiont, that is known as algal component, and this algae component gives what food, while as the fungal component gave what shelter. So this food and shelter both are need to each others and fulfilled by the others. So algae provide food to the lichen, as well as fungal provides what shelter to the lichen. So that's why they have to what live together. For that's why I'm saying a symbiotic association, right? So here, so this one is thing is clear. Now the point is here to be know about the word virus, and then after the variants, my dear. See, this one is the word virus, and this virus having what RNA. This one is RNA, and this one is what capsid, my dear. This one is what capsid. Clear? So this one is which one virus? This one is TMV. This one is what, my dear? TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. And here the tobacco mosaic virus, my dear, they only contain what? RNA. What I'm saying? RNA, ribonucleic acid. What the full form of RNA? That is ribonucleic acid, my dear. Okay, so this one is tobacco mosaic virus, which is containing what? RNA, and these all are the capsid. And what about the bacteriophage? See, this one is what? This one is what? Bacteriophage, my dear. So if I'm saying here about the bacteriophage, it means that the the bacteria infected by the virus. Bacteria, the bacteria which infected by the virus. I'm saying which infected by whom? By the what, my dear? Virus. So that's why I'm saying about what? Bacteriophage. So see here, this one is the head, this one is the collar, this one is the what? Sheath, and this one is what? Tail fiber. So this one is diagram is very, very important. VVI, my dear. Clear? Very, very important. So go through these all things, because all these things is given in your mind map, my dear. So that's why I'm saying to you, see here, the what about the virus? They are what? Non-cellular organisms. So if anybody can ask you about the virus is what? Virus is nothing. They are non-cellular organisms which remain in inert crystalline. So inert crystalline from where? From outside or inside? From outside the living cell. So as they infect the cell, whenever they infect the cell, they take over the machinery of the host cell for killing the host. And once this virus goes within the body cells, then it become living. But when the virus is outside the living body, then it is what? Non-living. So scientists here confuse that either the virus is living or non-living. You see, you know why? Because the virus having the property of both living as well as non-living. So whenever it put it in a living cells, whenever it goes within the living cell, then it become living. So whenever it put outside the living body, that is what? Non-living, my dear. So see, and after that, the infectious agent is smaller than virus is also here. Yes, that is what variants, and variants is what? Smaller than virus, my dear. Hope so. These all thing is clear. This all thing is to be very, very important to know, my dear. So this one is the mind map. When you go through in details in this very chapter, I teach you in very part wise, and that very part wise that is important to get a clear concept here. But that all things here I'm going to summarize, and hope so this summarized things you have to be keep in mind, and this one is very fruitful for your examination, my dear. So thank you for watching me this biological classification mind map, and now wait for the next session. I'll just give you some other mind map of NCRT, my dear. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.